Come, all you moonshiners, if you want to hear about the kind of booze that they sell around here. Made our way back in top of them hills where there's plenty of...
Hey, welcome to Barley and Hops again. I'm George. I did a video of all those different types of stills. We start with a small 1 gallon copper, then we go to an air still, then we went to the Turbo 500, and then we're going to go to the 8 gallon stainless steel dual purpose. And the purpose of this intro is just to kind of let you know that I did those in that order, so you can skip through and go to the ones that you're most interested in, or you can watch the whole video. We also focused a little bit on cleaning and maintenance and kind of the stuff that we use. Remember, there's a lot of stuff out there you can use. We don't know everything, so please share what you do know. One thing we know that doesn't work in a still is a Brillo pad, or those real hard scrubbers. So please stay away from that kind of stuff. I hope you enjoy, and yes, we did forget a lot of things that we wanted to tell you, but I think we captured as much as we possibly could. Welcome back to Barley and Hops. I'm George. I'm going to introduce you to a couple different styles of stills today. I get a lot of questions about, what's better, copper or stainless steel. And while I do this, I'll try to explain some of those differences, at least from my perspective. But I just want to also show you things like, little tips on how to clean them and maintain them, and really kind of show you a variety of what we've got available, because the market is changing, ever changing so drastically. There's so much available. Let's start off with this 1 gallon old copper still that I have. I've had this for quite a while, and it's really the design of this and the design of all the other stills are almost duplicate. They just kind of look a little different, but the actual process is all the same. It's a 1 gallon still, and here's the condenser that's on the side of this. This is the column, and of course this just fits in here. Now the biggest challenge with this, first of all, is sealing it, because you have to make sure you seal everything. It's an open system, but you have to seal all the connectors so that the distillate comes out, or whatever it is you're distilling, water, whatever it is, that it comes out and it doesn't come out of any of the openings. So you'd mix some either flour and warm water to a paste and you'd apply it around here, or you can use oatmeal. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can use, and that'll seal it up real good. My only caution is don't put any on here first and then put this inside. Boy, but once it dries, that's a bugger to get apart. Always attach the column first and then seal the outside. Then this comes with a cork in the top, just a hole in the cork for your thermometer, and cold water in, cold water out, and that's all there is to it. Now, I use Tarnex when it comes to cleaning, and I'll show you how this works on the outside especially. This Tarnex really does a great job of turning that copper a really nice copper color on the outside. That's if you want it to look really nice. But they all develop a patina that really does look nice. The one thing that I got to caution you about, though, is that inside copper, that as copper starts to tarnish, on the inside you'll start to, you can't see that from here, just trust me, it's there. You'll start to develop some black and some greenish colors. It looks almost like a real thin mold. That stuff's not good for you, so you really got to get that out. That's where your Tarnex really comes in handy, because you pour it in, you shake it, you take a brush and scrub it. If you can get your hand in there or something in there to wipe it out, but then always make sure that you clean it out, because it's going to leave a residue. So warm soapy water. Now there are other ways. Yes, you can run some vinegar, a cup of vinegar and about 3 cups of water, white water, put that in there and actually run that through the system, because it'll clean everything out from inside your column as well. So don't ever forget, just make sure you clean the column if you're going to clean the pot. If you're going to clean the outside, it's really only just to make it look neat. Now, Windex comes in handy when it comes to cleaning just about anything, I've found. There's another copper cleaner. This one's called Copper Cream. There's hundreds and hundreds on the market. This is like a real fine paste, and it's almost like, for those of you in the military, you know what Brasso was. Brasso was used to shine shiny things. So this will work as well on the outside. So that's what I offer you. That's it for the copper still. Now we're going to put this away, because we're going to take you to another step, because there are other opportunities and there are other options. So once I lay this one down, we have what's known as the air still. And the air still is a really unique, looks like a coffee pot. This holds 1 gallon, and it'll produce about, and this again all depends on what the ABV, the alcohol by volume, in your wash is. The higher that is, of course, the more you're going to wind up with in the very end. But regardless of that, that's another problem all in itself. This will hold a gallon, and if you're doing it the way we normally do it, you're looking at getting about a quart out of this. But this is so neat. The top just, because it's got a nice seal, it just pops off. And if you look inside there, there's nothing in particular in there. This is the kettle. It is electric. Oh yeah, there we go. This is called an air still. So what happens is that when that starts to vaporize, it rises and it goes inside. There's a condenser in here. It looks almost like the fins inside an air conditioner unit. And then there's a fan on top. And all they're doing is we're cooling the vapor from its boiling point to below the boiling point, which recondenses it, and it comes out this small tube. You just put a small collection plate here or a small collection jug here, and you collect from there. What's really convenient about this is it comes with a power plug. It's 110 volts. Plug it in. It looks like a coffee pot. Put it on your counter. Walk away from it. You can allow that thing to run on its own because there's nothing for you to adjust. So it's a one-touch, simple. It takes maybe an hour and a half or so for it to finish up. You can watch a movie, you can make dinner, you can do whatever it is you want, but you'll make your distillate that way as well. So this is for someone who's just looking to make a quart every now and then. You know, not everybody wants to do a lot. Some people just want to do a really nice product, some really good quality, and they're not really searching for that quantity. And so that's what this is for. And this is really a unique product. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'll be back with you in just a minute because I want to introduce another. Okay, this is what we call the Turbo 500. Again, it's another 120 volts. Just you plug that in. Here's the on and off button for the boiler, and that's what this is known. This is known as the boiler. This is a small connector that goes to the sink. So you can put this on the sink, and here's where you adjust the water flow. Now, we've done a video on this before, if you look back, and we actually ran this. So, I mean, you can get a lot more detailed information from that. But I'm just introducing it to you just as an option on what we have on the market. So this would be the cold water in. This is going to be the hot water out. That's the red hose. Go figure. And this is your distillate hose, whether it's spirits or distilled water, but this is a distillate hose that comes out. And you'll notice here there's a digital thermometer with a small probe. This model, the way this one actually runs, instead of checking the temperature at the head, and I'll show that to you in a second when I get the top off, instead of checking the temperature at the head, it checks the temperature of the water on the outflow, and what we do know by engineering is that if we can get that temperature right, everything before that has to be perfect. So that's what they've done in this case. So this just pops on. These are the 4 clamps that hold the lid down. This is nothing more than just like a big coffee pot, but you can control it. This is what the tower looks like. And you'll notice that your steam will rise up through here, your vapors will rise, and then they start to condense. Now this is strictly a reflux still. So it strips a lot of the flavor from what you're trying to make. I've actually removed some of the rashing rings that come with it and some of the saddles, and I was able to still produce a spirit that had some flavor, but it was still lacking what I could have gotten from another option in distilling. So what happens is this vapor starts to rise, and there's water flowing inside here, inside what they call a torpedo, and it starts to condense and drop, re-vaporize, rise, condense, and drop. The most volatile substances, again, rising to the top, which are the pure ethanol, and then it runs out through your hose and comes out the hose that you've got that going into your collection container, or you could put it into a parrot, you put it into a mason jar, a gallon jug, whatever it is you want to do. This holds about 5 gallons, so you're looking at a potential output of 3/4 to a gallon, depending again on the alcohol by volume of your wash. So now I'm going to set this aside, and then we're going to go to another step, and I'm going to show you another option. It's got some really cool features. So I'll be with you in just a moment. Now that we've set aside the small 1 gallon copper, the 1 gallon air still, and we've gone through the 5-gallon Turbo 500. It brings us to the 8-gallon model. This is probably the most popular one that we have. They fly off the shelves. They're wonderfully made by a company called Brew. Rick runs that place. I'm a distributor for Brew, so you can either get in touch with Brew themselves or you can order through me. It makes no difference. By the way, their website is Brewhouse, BREWHAUS.com. You can look on there, and anything that you find on that website, we're able to help you with as well. The only difference is that you get me if you call me. You don't get me if you order straight from Brewhouse. But what's the difference? The same product, the same great care, and the same great quality. Now, this is the Brewhouse 8-gallon stainless steel kettle. These things are absolutely amazing. High grade stainless steel in the 300 series. Now here's what it comes with. It comes with a diffuser plate, and a diffuser plate goes on top of the turkey fryer or whatever, a banjo burner or whatever it is, and it diffuses that heat so that it doesn't scorch anything in the bottom. Well, it helps to prevent scorching in the bottom of your pot should you have any solids in there. Any other stills I've seen, they don't come with that. You got to buy that separate. This one comes with it. If you're going to use electric, it's still going to come with it, so you can put it aside. It also comes with copper packing that goes inside the stainless steel column, and the packing is used as a transition. It's also for reflux, but it's for those who say there's got to be copper in my system somewhere. Well, here it is. All you do is you roll out about 18 to 24 inches, roll it up. Just make sure you don't roll it up too tight or don't roll up too much of it. You don't want to stop up the column. You just want to insert it in the column where it fits and then slide it in. And we'll explain a little bit more about these in just a second. Then you have 2 stacks. You've got, and I've got this one already put together because it takes a few minutes and I didn't want to waste your time. You've got the bottom one. It's got a screen on the bottom to prevent anything from falling back inside, and then you've got the top. Now this is called a dual purpose. It's either a pot still or it's a reflux still, and you can run it either way. So if you're going to run it as a reflux still, you would put the bottom cap on, and then you would put the top portion of this column on with all of those tubes, and we'll describe that, and run it. If you're going to run it as a pot still, all you would do is remove the bottom one and drop the top one down and remove these hoses. So we're going to describe the reflux first, and then, because it's just so much easier, then we're just going to remove the hoses that you don't need and show you how to run it as just a standard pot still. It also comes with a thermometer. This is a laboratory grade thermometer. If you want it with a digital thermometer, all you got to do is tell us, and we'll do that. These things are wonderful. They're really accurate, and they're droppable once. I tell people that. Be careful that you drop it once, it's done. It breaks. It comes with a water pump. It's about 560 gallons per hour water pump. Now look, you can get, if something happens to your water pump that you get, if it goes bad on you, don't fret. Go to Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot. Go to one of those places. They have pond pumps, and the pond pump is there. You know I'm talking about, those sculptures outside the ponds that just pump water through. Just make sure you get one that's going to run about a good 260 gallons an hour or so. You want one that's going to have enough pressure and enough force to push water where you want it to go, because you can get them for about $10-15, but they're the 92 gallon per hour, and they're really made for those small things that you have in the corners of the garden. But so they have those as well. But this one comes with the pump. This is an amazing pump, and the pump comes with another adapter so you can use a larger hose if you like to. Okay, this is the lid. The lid goes on there. It's got a nice neoprene seal in here that seals it up. No more mixing of paste to seal this up. Warning, this is the clamp that goes around the outside, and I'm going to show you how easy this is. We're going to put the clamp, we're going to put the clamp on, and then we're just going to thumb it finger tight. I've had customers that actually had to use they used a pair of pliers. This does not have to be that tight. All you got to do is get it cinched up nice and finger tight, because what that does is that causes that seal to seal, and you don't have to worry about it. So what's this, about 15 turns and I'm done. If you have to use a pair of pliers on that, you're going to destroy it, and that has happened in the past. So please be careful. Don't use pliers on there. If you have any problems with it, if it's kind of rough when you get started, shoot some WD-40 in there because it just needs a little bit of lubricant. Okay, we're about ready to continue on. It also comes with the chemical resistant hose that goes from the oh my goodness, I'm losing my words. It goes from the condenser into your bottle or whatever your collection jug is. Make sure you use this. If you use any other kind of standard PVC piping or tubing or anything like that, that alcohol, if you're doing alcohol, tends to leach some of that stuff out, and then you wind up with these floaties inside, and you can't get rid of them. They're just there. So make sure you're using the chemical resistant hosing. Alrighty then, we're going to show you how to run the reflux. When you run a reflux still, okay, here's the gasket that goes on the bottom, and then we've got this high-speed 2-inch clamp that goes around the outside. All right, now just for the purposes of the video, we're going to take this off, and we're just going to pretend it's there, and we're going to put this one on so that I can point to it, talk, and you can see what I'm talking about. So this one's already there. We're going to add the top of the column. So this thing, it'll stand about, gosh, if you put it on a turkey fryer, it's going to be a good 62 inches tall or something like that. We're going to take out our thermometer. We're going to put it inside the bung that goes in the top, and we're going to try to measure this temperature from the same place each and every time. So just make sure you know where you put it. Now you'll notice here that we've got the water control system. It comes with that too. This is an open the box, have your mash, your mash or wash prepared, have your heater ready, put it together, wipe it out, put it on there, and run it. That's what's wonderful about this system. Now, you'll run the cold water into the bottom, and the other water comes out from the top. This is the discharge. It comes with 2 hoses, and these hoses are about 5 feet long each, so you've got plenty of room. If you need more, let us know. These are the types of things that you can also get at Home Depot, Lowe's, or anywhere else. Look, we're not cheap. Well, I just want you to know that if there is another option for you out there that saves you a couple of dollars, I'm going to share it with you. There's no reason why you should buy a food grade bucket for $25 or $30 that someone is willing to ship to you and charge you an arm and a leg for shipping, when you can get one locally if they're available for about $8. There's no reason to do that. It's the same thing with this hose. If you want to order a couple of foot of hose and it's going to cost you $17 to get it to you, I'd say go down to Home Depot or Lowe's and pay 60 cents a foot and get however much you need. Okay, let's get back to business here. We've got this thing fired up just as an example, and it's starting to run. Our temperature's where it's supposed to be, and your cold water goes in the bottom. This is the control valve. This one now, it's fully open, but this is the control valve that would control the flow. Your flow is going to always be 100% positive in the bottom, so that's for your condenser. And we've got this hooked to the water pump that's inside a bucket of ice water. All right, so your water's running in, and you'd use this control valve to slowly trickle the water into this out tube. And this tube will go inside here. It'll come out this tube. It goes around. It goes through this tube. It comes back around and goes through the third tube. Now this is where the condensing, the dropping of all of those vapors are, or your distillate and the water, and then the re-vaporizing and re-rising. This is the pre-condensing that takes place. That's why you need to control that. With a reflux still, you're actually controlling the head temperature by the water more than you are by the heating element. So remember that. You get it up to the right temperature and get it to balance, and then you're going to control it by this. So you'll get that adjusted just right, and then of course this will flow out to here, and these two will meet, and that goes back into your bucket. You can just continue to replenish the ice or whatever it is that you would like to do. Okay, we've got to that point. Now, when you're doing that, I told you I'd talk to you about these. This is the copper mesh. In distilling, they're known as plates. And you may see some of those. They get the big window in the front of it, and they've got a copper plate inside. They've got these little, I don't know, I guess you can call them nuggets that's laying around, and you've got all this vapor and water and everything is bubbling and running down to the next one. Each one of those are known as a plate. For each plate inside a column, the potential for the alcohol to be increased is increased dramatically. So when you say plate, plate is a physical process or is a physical thing, which is actually a plate in the middle of the column, but it's also a measurement factor. So we want to use measurement factors in plates. In the equivalent, one roll is equivalent to a plate. So if I added one roll of copper inside this column, and I would normally put it in this column, it would be, yeah, because it's reflux. So now I've got the reflux going to happen, but I've also got a plate. So that's one plate. Go to homedistillers.org, I believe it is, or homedistilling.org. They got a great website there with a lot of information, and there are calculations on what happens to the ethanol with the amount of plates that you have. So there's one plate. If I put another one in here, now I've got two plates. So it's just food for thought. All right, let's do the pot still now, because the pot still is a whole lot of fun. Let's pull this off because this is no longer necessary. And it comes with clamps for every one of these, so you don't have to go out and buy a bunch of clamps. If you got some clamps laying around, they do come in handy. Should you drop one or lose it or something should happen. All right, we're going to put these away. And now you're left with what would be called a pot still. And for the pot still, all we're going to do is go cold water in and cold water out. And we'll run that. No copper, no water in the cross tubes. We're just going to run a pot still. Now the difference in a pot still and a reflux still is about 130 to 140-ish. You get a lot more flavor out of whatever's in here. If you're running the reflux still, you can go as high as 190 proof, but you're really stripping a lot of flavors from it. Everything has to do with your process and your technique. So, I don't think there's anything else I can tell you. We do have options and accessories available for this as well. So don't think that you're limited to just this. There's a 15-gallon pot, but call me. Let's talk about that. Let's find out exactly what it is you're looking for, and let's get you in the right place. Because the last thing I'd hate to have happen to you, and it's happened to all of us, you order something, you open the box, and you go, what the heck is that? When you open the box after you talk with us, I want you to go, that's exactly what I was looking for. There should be no surprises, and you should be ready to go, and you should be also ready to continue on with your hobby, wherever your hobby should take you. So thanks for your time, and we'll see you on the next video.